Here we are with Rozz Williams. He's playing two concerts in Mexico City. Hi, Rozz.
Hello.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Is it the first time that you come to Mexico City?
Yes.
Yes? So what do you think about the city?
I love it here. It's much nicer than I expected. It's a lot different. It reminds me of Europe. It has a real European feel to it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? That's the first time someone says us that. But you played yesterday in one place of Mexico City. How did the audience react? What was his reaction? Did you expect that reaction?
It was a good reaction. I was happily surprised because, like I was saying to you, there was a very mixed audience, and I kind of thought a lot of people really wouldn't be into it, but it was nice.
Generally, in your concerts, there's only one kind of people, and that's why you are a little bit surprised.
Yeah, usually, it's just one group of people, and
which kind of people?
Well, I guess Gothic. Yeah.
Gothic. You hate
I hate that word.
The title.
Yeah.
Yes. You are coming to Mexico City with your new group Duskarota. What does Duskarota mean? Because as I know, when Christian Death have just split, you have thought a name that was Duskarota. Does it has a relation between Duskarota and Duskarota in the meaning that it has?
Yeah, it was a character from a book,
Mm-hmm.
and the author was
yes, you can say
on opium, and saw this vision of this person named Duskarota, and just after reading the book, then the character stuck with me, and so I always wanted to use that name for a project.
Oh, that's which was the book? Which was the name of the book?
It was called The Drug Experience.
By whom?
It was so long ago. It was a collected thing, like different authors talking about their drug experiences. But I'm pretty sure it was Ambrose Bierce.
But you just remember the character,
Yeah.
Duskarota. How was this character? It was, could you describe it a little bit?
Yeah, he had in place of his heart like a bunch of grapes and mandrake roots instead of feet. So every time he walked, he'd have to unplant and replant himself again. And I liked the idea of that, just the growth pattern of getting to where you're going and completing it and then moving ahead.
Okay, which is the difference, or the main difference between, Christian Death, Shadow Project, premature ejaculation, and now Duskarota?
I think with Christian Death and Shadow Project, the difference wasn't that clear to most people because both were, very dark, but and it was coming from the same side of things in thought, but with Shadow Project working with Eva, that was an equal share between the two of us, so her input, made it different for me. And with premature ejaculation, it's that's very different for me. That's my chance to just be angry and but not have to use my voice.
Okay.
I can just use instruments, and I like that quite a bit.
And now with Duskarota?
It's just more rock and roll, not so much the dark or
the dark side. It's
I'm still talking about it in the lyrics, but the music, I think, is just more straightforward rock,
Okay, which are the main important or the main themes that you are concerned about?
Well, death is, of interest to everybody, I think. Everybody thinks about it at some time or another, well, what's going to happen, So that's an interesting idea to me, and just delving into some questions that I don't think the majority of people normally do, just questions about yourself and why you're here and what purpose, do you have while you're here. And I think a lot of people shy away from that. They don't want to talk about that or really look too deeply inside themselves. Everything is on the surface,
sometimes it's scaring just to
Yeah.
make up these questions. I know that you hate all these labels, but most people know you, or they place you in the Gothic movement. So how can you not define, just describe your music?
As music, that's
As music.
that's all I think of it, is that it's just music. I don't sit down and think while I'm writing a song, oh, I better make it gothic, or I better, it's just whatever comes out, so I just consider it music. But I think because of the imagery and the lyrics and sometimes how I present myself on stage or with the makeup or clothes or whatever, that it tends to get put into the gothic category, but I don't feel that way.
And which is important of all this dark image when you are on the stage? Do you think that it's an essence of Rozz Williams? It's an important part of him.
Yeah, it's almost as though for me to go on stage is really a scary thing. So I've created another person that I can go on stage with, and all of that's a part of that. I'm not the same person right now as I would be if I was going on stage.
We will see you today. But in which things do you inspire to write all the lyrics of your songs?
I think just day-to-day life is usually what inspires me to write. Just things that I see around me every day, and also my dreams are very important to me, and in my writing.
Do you remember them always?
Not always. I was too drunk last night to
most
remember.
of the time. Yesterday dream you don't remember.
No.
Okay. Many people that know your music haven't heard them in the radio or by all the medias. Sometimes it is passed by a friend to a friend. And so do you think that all this kind of music need more support in the medias, like the radio or like the television? Or is it a very important part for all the dark bands or all the people that make this kind of music to remain in the underground?
I think it's kind of a shame that a lot of the music hasn't gotten more attention, but at the same time, I think that is kind of the essence of that type of scene. Is that it's underground and it gets passed on from person to person, and that makes it something special for each person. It's not something that you're going to hear on the radio 15 times a day,
Yes.
and so that makes it something special. But at the same time, I think that there's, a lot of new music now that's just being ignored, as far as radio and television and so forth, and it should really be given more of a chance.
What do you think of nowadays music?
I can't speak too much about it because I don't really know that much about it.
Do you hear any kind of group?
Not really too much. It's like I've kind of stuck myself in a pattern of listening to what I grew up listening to. So I still listen to the same things at home that I did when I was growing up, But occasionally, I'll hear something through someone else or at a show or something, and I like some of it, I don't like some of it. But
Could you tell us someone that you like from those bands? I don't remember.
I don't know. See, like new for me is Nirvana is new to me. I never heard Nirvana before until just recently, and
you like it? Well, you like them.
Yeah, I liked the last album. Yeah. And Jesus Lizard, I had never heard before. So I mean, they're old groups, but
Yes.
I've just now hearing them, But
Yes, maybe sometime they were underground or they were alternative, but now
yeah.
they have come to the mainstream. And which groups did you listen when you were growing up?
David Bowie was big. Still to this day, I could sit in a room and listen to David Bowie all day, and that could be it. I'd be perfectly happy.
Could you say it's an influence for you?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Uh-huh.
And T-Rex, Lou Reed, Iggy Pop, New York Dolls. Really from like what was then considered like a glitter. It was the glitter thing, and I grew up listening to that. Still, basically, that's what I listen to now.
Okay, and do you manage any specific concept in your debut album with Duskarota? I mean, what do you want to say with your new album with the Duskarota?
It was a really personal thing for me. It's like every song on there was written about a specific person, which is why it was titled Shrine, because I was like building this shrine to this person. And so every song is about this one thing, and I don't write in a way that people could I don't think really understand exactly. I like to keep my lyrics open so that people can interpret it any way they like. You know, I don't like to just set it out so it just says one thing. I like it to say a lot of different things. But for me, you know, that's what it was about, just a personal relationship.
Okay, but it's an important thing for you that people can make his own interpretation, I think so.
Yeah, very much so. You know, I think it's important that everybody develop their own thoughts, you know, about everything. To me, I don't like to preach, you know, I don't like to be preached to, so I like to leave it very open so people can come to their own conclusions about it.
And which is your favorite song in Shrine? All of them.
Oh yes, they're all great. Go out and buy the record.
Yes, that's it.
I think Father of Temptation, probably.
And I'm gonna say you just a few words so you can tell us which is your first impression of them. Okay, the first things that come to your mind. Okay, Christianism.
Confusion.
Valor.
Ugly.
Christian death.
Boring.
Shadow Project.
Marriage.
Death.
Life.
Homosexuality.
It's okay.
Okay, music.
Life again.
Rozz Williams.
Confusion again.
Confusion again. Duskarota.
Grapes comes up.
Grapes. Okay, and one was last one. I was thinking about. I mean, that's it. Do you want to say something too? I mean, there's a lot of people. Gothic rock. That's important. Gothic rock. Goth rock.
No,
Nothing.
that's a hard one. Yeah, blank.
Okay, blank. That's important, I think.
Yeah.
So, have you had any unusual experience in your life?
Oh,
Yes. Could you tell us someone? I mean, anyone you want.
Do you want like unusual in like I don't know which category of unusual.
Anyone that you want. Which things do you consider unusual? I mean, anything that you consider that it could be under the unusual category.
I think maybe I don't know, one time it was very unusual for me, at least, kind of scary in a way, that I was living with some people, and we just went out on the street, and decided that we were going to meet someone and bring them home, and so we just went out and brought someone home, and we just started kind of doing like these ritualistic things or whatever, and then we had come to the conclusion that we were going to kill this person, and we were preparing it and everything, and that was really unusual for me because of my mind at that point. It was I was thinking, well, how could you actually even be thinking this?
Yes.
It's like, how could you entertain that thought? Because this person is as important, probably more important than you are, so how could you feel that you could take this person's life? But we didn't end up doing it anyway, but
the end of the story, a happy ending.
Yeah, but it was unusual just to reach that point in your mind,
to think about
to where you just didn't really care too much about anything else, and it was just so involved in just being inside your own mind, which I think is an important thing. Like I said, I think it's important for everybody to come to their own interpretations about everything in life, and that involves going inside of yourself and not really letting the outside world have too much influence on you. But at the same time, I think there's a point where you have to pull back.
Stop, yes.
Yeah, so that was unusual for me. That was a difficult thing to come to grips to.
And how do you feel Judies nowadays? Do you think that there are precisely just sometimes skipping from doing all these questions, or how do you feel Judies nowadays? How Jude is reacting? How do you think all this new generation is living in this world? Do you think that they are thinking about the things they have to think, or are they just receiving whatever they give us to them?
Yeah, I think it's it's pretty sad living in Los Angeles. It's really bad there as far as violence, and I think it's really sad because I don't think that people, or a lot of people growing up now, really have much of a choice. It's like they've just been kind of thrown into all this violence and ugliness everywhere, and I see a lot of kids that just I think for their own survival purposes have turned themselves off, and so, but at that point you just become a receptacle for everything coming in from television and everywhere else, and so they're living in this world where it's all video games and television, and nothing really is real, but I don't know, I just think it's sad. I think some people have come to grips with it, but you also look at what's going on and try to think of the future, and it seems pretty bleak. So
what do you think about the future?
It seems pretty bleak.
That's
basically I don't see things getting much better, unfortunately. But I think through going through all of this, it has to reach a stage where, maybe the whole planet will explode, but then there'll be a rebirth after that, and so it's all right, I don't sit around every day like, oh God, everything's so horrible yes. and I hate life, but sometimes as well, it's just kind of sad to think how far things have come, yeah.
Do you believe in supernatural things?
Yeah, I definitely do. I've had a lot of experiences myself, and but I have kind of mixed feelings as to where that comes from. Sometimes I think it's a mental thing, and things that you see or experience are purely mental, yes. that you're creating them yourself. And then sometimes I think, it's definitely an outside force, and sometimes it's a good force, sometimes it's a bad force.
Uh-huh.
So,
could you tell us one of your supernatural experience?
Well, a good one I used to have when I was very small. You know, I had problems with my family and stuff, and this kind of got me thinking, you know, well, I've created it myself, but in any case, it was a good thing. So you know, but this woman used to, this old woman would come and just sit at the foot of my bed every night and just like, you know, sit there and look at me and kind of comfort me until I fell asleep. You know, and at the time I knew she wasn't real, but I could see her, you know, and there were like several things like that in this one house that I lived in, where maybe ghosts or...
How was she like, the one that came to you?
You know, it was almost like a grandmother or something, you know, that kind of warmth and comforting feeling. And, you know, but she never spoke or anything. She just came and sat at the bed. And
But it was a good force for you.
Yeah, it was definitely good. You know, it helped me fall asleep and helped me forget about all the problems of the day, you know.
But it was just when you were small, not now. You haven't seen her anymore.
No.
Okay, what can you tell to all the people that is listening to us, to all the Mexican youth, and that it's very interested in your new project? And
I don't know. I just hope that, you know, that they keep their minds open and you know, just live through everything that's going on as best they can, you know, and just try to survive and you know, be as happy as possible, because that's a really important thing. You know, it's no matter what's going on around you, you know, it's a very important thing to keep yourself happy and to keep yourself in a situation that's, you know, going to have a good outcome. You know, you can't dwell on the bad. You know, obviously bad things are going to happen, and we're all going to be faced with bad things, but you know, I see so many people who just fall into that and they won't come back out of it. You know, it's just something that they live in every day, and I think that's a harmful thing. You know, I would like and hope that there is an afterlife. You know, I would like to think that there is, and I really, you know, hope that there is. But if not, you know, then, you know, you need to be happy now, or at least as close to happy as you can be. You know.
Is there an afterlife? We will see, but not now.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much, Rozz William, and we will see you tonight.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.